All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Border City Kids podcast. I'm here with a special guest for the first time in my studio. I'm going to bring attention over to Eric, and he is my first guest right now in this studio. So welcome to the Border City Kids podcast.
Thanks, Brian, for having me. I'm excited to be on the podcast. We're going to be talking about some cool stuff tonight. We had a good evening. We did a little tour of Sarnia's Halloween festivities.
Yeah, we actually, so we live in Sarnia, Ontario, and I probably shouldn't tell you where we actually live, but it's very close to Halloween, and every year in Sarnia, Ontario, there is a group called the Celebration of Fright, and that's where different houses set up different Halloween scenes. People can drive by, people can walk through the tours and see all of the crazy setups, and, you know, some of them are actually pretty incredible because you see some of the animatronics that they have in their setups, and the amount of money that goes into these is quite incredible when you think about how big your front yard is, where you're located, and sometimes you even see like the collaboration between like neighbors, which is pretty incredible. What do you think?
Yeah, like one property that really impressed us was the Durham Street Asylum.
Yeah.
And actually getting to walk through their house that they had set up, I think like since June, they were making props and changing it every year. So thanks, guys, for doing that.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool story. So last year we actually tried to go into this house, and we were actually a little bit late, so they had already shut down, so we weren't able to do so. But I guess we found out every year in January they actually start coming up with plans. So you think about where Halloween is, and at the end of October they're actually finishing up, and then within 2 months they're actually planning for next year, and then in July and August they're actually planning for the next year already, and then they make their props in the summer. So pretty wild. Their whole house is totally set up with props. I don't know how you even function in a household that way. It's like, you think about, there were like some screens with a whole bunch of like weird computer, I don't even know, like, how would you describe the writing on the computer screens? The ones I'm talking about?
It's like the Matrix code running down the screens. There's like a crazy, like they did a custom costume. You think it's a prop, but obviously they're standing there and they jump out at you when you least expect it.
Yeah, they have actors and everything. They had like an emergency button that you push, and then what was it? Like a UFO?
Something happens. We don't want to ruin it because it's still going on right now.
We don't want to ruin it, but at the same time,
it's pretty cool.
Anyone who's watching this probably isn't in Sarnia, Ontario anyway, so you're probably not getting here. But pretty wild to see how the house is actually set up. It was pretty impressive. With that whole setup. But anyways, I don't want to go on too much about that. Tonight we're actually going to be counting down, and we're not really counting down, we're going to be talking about the top Halloween movies of all time. Some of them are classics, some of them are for kids, some of them are gory, unfortunately, and some of them are kind of just your, how would you say it, like not trilogies, but like franchises. So, like, for example, you have the Conjuring, there's 4 movies. Saw has like 10 movies?
Yeah, so many.
There's tons of them. So we're going to be counting down through that tonight. We are very excited to do this because, like I said, this is the first time I've had a guest on my show. Eric, I don't know if you're signing on to the Border City Kids, but that is totally up to you. But I enjoy having you as a guest tonight, and we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, we're just going to hang out for a few minutes here. We'll see if we can get some people to sign on to our live podcast right now. But thank you for joining us. If you want to comment, or if there's a movie or something that we've missed that you want to suggest in the top Halloween movies, please write it in the chat. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and thank you for being part of this podcast. So let me just get this slideshow loaded up for you tonight. What do you think? Should we go into it?
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's go into it, because honestly, by the looks of this might actually take a while.
Time to get spooky.
It's time to get spooktacular in here, and I know how corny that sounds right now, but whatever. It's a Saturday night, so that's fine. All right, so let's go into our first top Halloween movie, and if you know this picture right here, you know exactly what it is. We just had the 4th installation of this franchise come out, and I believe it's the last one, unfortunately, that features Ed and Lorraine Warren, and this is The Conjuring from 2013.
Oh yeah, so it starts off, the The film is set in 1971, and it centers on two families, the Perrin family, who are being haunted, and the Warrens, the demonologists trying to save them. And so the haunting begins with the Perrins. So there's Roger and Carolyn Perrin, and they move in with their 5 daughters into an old large farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. Almost immediately, the family begins to experience increasingly alarming paranormal events. So first, the clock stops at exactly 3:07 a.m.
And 3:07 is 3:07 is very significant because it is the witching hour. It is the 12 hours at the time of Jesus' death that's passed. So they call this the witching hour. So that's why 3:07 is significant.
Yep. And so then a foul, rotten smell permeates the house. And one of the daughters sees a malevolent spirit on top of her wardrobe. So the mother, Carolyn, wakes up each morning with unexplained severe bruises, and it gets crazier and crazier because the manifestations become physical, with one of the daughters being pulled by her leg in the middle of the night. And I don't know about you, Brian, but someone even touched the sheets on the bed and I was sleeping, I'd be screaming.
Yeah, and I mean, for me personally, just because you saw how I was, I've always loved doing this type of thing when it comes to haunted houses. I've never actually been in one, but I feel like I want to. I feel like as much as it would be scary, it's still interesting to know that there's some kind of other realm out there that we don't know about, and it's kind of like a dimension that exists, but we just don't know much about. But you hear about this kind of stuff all the time, whether it's people trying to contact you from the dead or whatever, right? It's
realm.
Exactly. It exists, and
it's got it. Right?
We've seen evidence, we've seen videos of this kind of thing happening. But this story here, the Conjuring #1 on the Perrin family, is pretty amazing. And Ed and Lorraine Warren, Eric said, are famous demonologists. They've been around forever. I know they both passed away now. I think Lorraine passed away 6 years ago in 2019, and Ed Warren passed away, I want to say 2006 or 2007, so he's been gone for a while. But these two really got the paranormal world going. So I'll let you continue with the investigation of the Perrin family.
Sure, thanks, man. So Ed and Lorraine Warren, they're famous demonologists, as Brian mentioned, and paranormal investigators. So Ed is specifically a lay demonologist, and Lorraine is a gifted clairvoyant who specializes in seeing the lingering presence of spirits. So the Warrens initially agree to investigate, believing the case to be a classic haunting, but soon realize it's something far more powerful, like there's a demonic infestation and it's targeting the mother. So Lorraine uses her abilities and determines that a dark, malevolent entity has latched on to the family and won't let go. So they can't just leave the house and escape that haunting. So they bring in a team and install cameras around and gather evidence, so audio, photos, videos, and they try and secure the church's authorization for a full-on exorcism.
Yeah, and usually when you have an exorcism, you get a priest that comes into the house, and they bless the house with holy water the whole way through, from the top down to the bottom. So, and usually you might get some kind of reaction from that. Maybe the house goes quiet for a while. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's not guaranteed.
So, continuing on with the plot, the house's dark history. Through their research, the Warrens uncover the dark history of the farmhouse's land. The property once belonged to an accused witch named Bathsheba Sherman.
Yeah, Bathsheba Sherman.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
Who lived in the early 1800s. Bathsheba sacrificed her week-old baby to the devil, and at 3:07 a.m., went out to a tree on the property, proclaimed her love for Satan, and hanged herself.
Which explains the picture that you see behind us right now with the rope hanging from the tree.
Yeah. So she was cursing everyone who tried to take her land. And this entity's goal is to possess the mother, Carolyn, and force her to murder her children, and continuing the cycle of that curse. So it's pretty dark, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. So when it comes down to it, if you've seen the movie, Bathsheba successfully possesses Carolyn. And in a terrifying sequence, there is like an exorcism that does take place on Carolyn, and in the end, obviously, Carolyn is able to set free of the demon that possesses her. In the end, the film concludes with the parents reunited, and they are safe, and the Warrens return home and place the haunted music box, which is from the movie, into their room that they have of cursed artifacts and always collecting things from their ongoing work. Which leads into our next movie, and we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, just because these movies are part of the whole set, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. The Conjuring 2, which is based on Valak the Nun, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about with Valak the Nun. But this was the house that was in, I believe, the UK. And this movie here opens up with Ed and Lorraine Warren investigating the infamous Amityville horror house, which is a pretty dark story. And I don't want to go, and maybe that should be part of the list too, because that's a dark story too. That's an honorable mention when it comes to movies, but it's also a true story, which is pretty shocking. But this leads into the Enfield poltergeist, which takes place across the Atlantic. I want to say in London, England. I've covered this, so I feel like I should know. I'm sure it was in London, England.
Yeah, Enfield, North London.
Yeah, and it was like a townhouse that this family was living in, and they began to experience terrifying, aggressive poltergeist activity in Enfield, North London. So yeah, London, England, yeah. So what they would experience at the time was knocking on the walls, furniture moving, and I believe one time the cops were actually called to their house because things were getting so out of hand, and the cops actually seen a chair shift in their kitchen, which is pretty
freaked them out,
right? Yeah, exactly, which is something you don't expect to see, but at least they had someone there to verify what had happened. So that's what happened there. The whole neighborhood and people believe that this was a hoax because after I think other people moved into this place and not much really happened. So the Warrens were called in to intervene, and they tried to observe. And if you've seen the movie, there's a main scene where the girl who's possessed is sitting on a chair, and you have Ed and Lorraine Warren, and I think it's more so Ed. In order to prove that this actually happened, I think she took a drink of water, but she kept the water in her mouth to prove that the voice coming from her was not her making up the voice, because she had like a growling voice. But it's actually really creepy because a voice comes out and says, "I'm Bill Wilkins," which is super creepy. It's the best part of the movie in my opinion. But it was just to prove that she wasn't making this up. She wasn't just making up some voice. And it's pretty incredible. If you hear the voice, you would think I would have a sore throat in 5 minutes from that voice that she has.
A strong, powerful male voice.
Yeah. But we find out through this that Bill Wilkins was just someone who lived in that apartment, and it was actually a demon. And if you've seen the movie, it's Valak the Nun who's actually taken possession of the girl, and that's who Lorraine Warren confronts by the end of the movie. So if you want to go on about the confrontation at the end where the Warrens face Valak, go for it.
Sure. There is the Warrens intervene in part of this movie. So the Catholic Church, they have a confrontation where Janet is fully possessed and she's attempting to commit suicide. So Ed risks his life to save Janet and putting himself in a position identical to the vision of his death, like near a wooden spike. And then Lorraine finds the page in her Bible with the name Valak written on it, and knowing the demon's name gives her power over it, so she confronts the nun, condemning it back to hell using its true name. So, like, to know the name Valak, you'd only know that if you actually did some research on the Bible. And then after going through that, Valak is defeated and the possession of Janet ends, saving both her and Ed.
Yeah, and that's where the movie actually ends. And then we move on to Conjuring 3 and 4. And I don't think we're going to go too much into detail on these because these ones are relatively new, especially number 4. It just came out, and I don't want to ruin any surprises on that. But this goes through the main stories that Ed and Lorraine Warren actually were involved in. pretty incredible things. Obviously, the movies are going to kind of alter things to make them appear way more exciting, maybe, and different than what actually occurred, because some of the things that you see in the movie are actually quite incredible. But that is the Conjuring franchise, and I've decided to lead off with that because I think that's just something that it's probably one of the most recent best franchise movies that I've ever seen, and I'm actually pretty sad to see that this franchise is over, although I hear they might kind of shift outward to other people that were related into the haunting somehow. But it was good to see that Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, they did such a good job portraying Ed and Lorraine Warren in these movies. But all good things have to come to an end, and they did an excellent job. So I want to move on to the next movie that we're going to talk about. And this one is, and maybe I should have let off with this, because this one is the classic when it comes to horror movies.
What do you think it is?
And there it is right there, right? Like, in 1973, the movie The Exorcist was released, and it revealed something that the world hadn't really seen before. And when you see some of the things in this movie and you look back, this was 52 years ago. Some of the things that were seen in this movie made the audience kind of they were rattled. They were totally rattled.
First time I've ever seen anything like this, like crazy effects.
Yes. And to go into it, like, you see a head spin, and you see some of the voices that come out. And once again, let's go back 52 years ago. The voices of the possessed girl, Linda Blair, in this movie was absolutely incredible. Phenomenal, and truly terrifying. And this is The Exorcist. This story begins in Georgetown, Washington, D.C., and centers on a 12-year-old girl who becomes possessed by the devil. Reagan begins to exhibit increasingly bizarre behavior, and if you've seen the movie, you would know what I'm talking about, but strange physical changes, vulgar behavior and language, accompanied by grotesque facial injuries. She gets scratches on her. Her face by the end of the movie is completely unrecognizable. And after a bunch of medical tests that she had done to her, the doctors couldn't determine what was actually wrong with her. I'll let you actually go into the exorcism portion of this if you'd like.
Sure. Yeah. And like, one of the other strange things when she was possessed was they actually assumed like displays of levitation. So it always kind of, that's like the most extreme or bizarre, I don't know, demonic possession in my thinking.
Like
but
some girl floating
like
4 or 5 feet above
crazy,
her bed, right?
Like, and you see these professional, like, people, like magicians who can do these levitation tricks. Like, how are they performing that? But
I wonder what the true inspiration was for this back in the day in 1973.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But as far as the priest is, she seeks out Father Damien Karras, who is Jason Miller, Jesuit priest and psychiatrist who is struggling with his faith and guilt over his mother's recent death. So Karras initially approaches the case with skepticism, but after witnessing the horrifying phenomena, he becomes convinced that Reagan is truly possessed by a demon. And during the exorcism, the church grants permission for an exorcism, but insists that an experienced priest must perform the ritual. They send Father Lancaster Marin, Max von Sydow, an elderly archaeologist who had prior confrontation with the same demonic entity, Azuzu, during a dig in Iraq. So I believe there's like a flashback that kind of shows that in the movie. And then, continuing on, the climax occurs when Marin and Karras begin the grueling exorcism. Like, this is the main part of the movie. It's called The Exorcist. And they engage in the most violent and psychological battle with the demon.
The power of Christ compels you.
Yes.
Right? I remember
and
that.
If you just keep saying that, it will work.
Yes.
We've seen proof in some funny shows.
I'm telling you though, man, if there's like someone that's possessed and they're capable of like closing doors, opening drawers, and moving furniture around.
Like, what would you do, really? Like, do you have any chance
I'll tell
of
you
surviving?
I'll tell you what you do. You get out of there.
You run as fast as you can, or
yeah,
the door locks behind you, it just shuts.
That's it. Yeah, you run out of there.
And you get your laser pen out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they had those 52 years ago, but
yeah,
it makes you wonder. Like, obviously not a true story, but the idea of this back in 1973 was totally unique and totally shocking and terrifying to an audience that went to check out such a wild movie. But in the end of this movie, Reagan recovers with no memory, and Father Karras pretty much commands the demon to go into him. And at the end of the movie, he jumps out the window and falls down the stairs, and Reagan is saved. So that is The Exorcist from not 2000. What am I saying? 1973.
The OG.
Yes, the OG of exorcism type movies. So let's go into the next one, and I haven't even seen this. I don't know if you've seen this. It's Hocus Pocus. Have you seen it?
I might have seen part of it, but
yeah,
it's 3 witches, right?
Yeah.
So, it's been a long time though since
I haven't even seen this. I have no idea. So this one here, and I know there's Hocus Pocus 2 was released a couple years ago, but in this movie here, 1993, teenager Max Dennison, who has just moved to Salem, accidentally resurrects the witches after lighting the candle. The sisters immediately set out to drain the life force from a child to make their return permanent. So they don't want to just stick around temporarily. They do what they can to permanently be around. The heroes in this movie, Max, his younger sister Danny, and his crush Allison, along with the help of the Thackeray Binks. They must steal the witch's spell book and stop them. So there's your goal right there, to get the witch's spell book and curse them back so they don't return. So that is Hocus Pocus. So let's move on to, and this is, here's another.
There was a second Hocus Pocus too, right? I think,
in 2022.
Recently it was released, but I have yet to watch that myself, but it was good.
Yeah. So we're going into the original, you think of the theme song on this, you had it playing in your vehicle there when we were doing the Halloween tour of Sarnia.
Know what it is.
Yes. It is the Halloween first installed movie of the multiple movie franchise, and this was released in 1978. And you want me to go over this? Do you want to go over this one?
You can go over it. I was just gonna pull up the song to give it like a little background music.
It's gonna be hard to hear just because the background music's playing right now. So.
Never mind.
Yeah,
maybe we won't do that.
Yeah, but it's the John Carpenter Halloween song. It's a classic. We suggest that you search that up and play it. You'll know exactly what it is. The movie starts and it plays the song. So the original film in 1978, directed by John Carpenter, introduces the central characters and premise. On Halloween night 1963, 6-year-old Michael Myers murders his teenage sister Judith in a fictional town of Haddonfield, Illinois. He is committed to a psychiatric hospital under the care of Dr. Sam Loomis, and I believe Dr. Sam Loomis shows up in about 4 or 5 of these movies before he actually passes away, which is fortunate, but he did an excellent job in his time with the Halloween franchise. In 1978, Michael escapes and returns to Haddonfield to stalk teenage babysitter Laurie Strode and her friends on Halloween night. Michael Myers is obviously the killer of the movie. He is seemingly unstoppable. He's a seemingly unstoppable force of evil. Yeah. And if he was actually alive now, he'd probably be like 300, 400 years old. So pretty incredible. Yeah. Pretty wild. I've seen, I want to say, like, obviously I enjoy the classic movies, so I've seen like the first few. I haven't watched any of the recent ones.
I recently saw like one of the newer ones where he was in like prison. But, he was released. I don't remember which one that was. Like there's a few, right? I don't know. Like Halloween.
Yeah, there's so many of them. I'm not sure.
I think from maybe it's Halloween Ends or Halloween Kills, but yeah, he gets out of prison, and I just remember like the whole town brings in like machine guns and gets shot so many times and hits with beat up with a hammer, but he always stands back up, and like it just has unrelentless strength, like the dark.
Yeah, he gets like shot a whole bunch of times in one of the movies.
Unstoppable.
And no big deal, right? Just brush it off and get back in there,
Yeah.
Pretty wild. So that is on our top Halloween movies of all time, and I'm sure you guys would agree with that. Here is the next movie on our stop, and this one started in 2010 with Patrick Wilson in the movie Insidious.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this, in the picture behind me, I remember my buddy was watching this movie with me, and when this part happened, I've never heard someone yell so loudly from that jump scare type part of the movie. This movie here is where the Lambert family is introduced, and their haunted son Dalton becomes the concept of the further, and Elise is the older woman who's involved in the movie as well. Go ahead, I'll let you run with this one.
Sure. So, first of all, for Insidious, there are 5 movies to date, with the most recently one being released, The Red Door. So, I'll just kind of give the order of those movies so we know kind of what it's all about. So, as Brian mentioned, the first Insidious, released in 2010, introduces the Lambert family, their haunted son Dalton, the concept of the further, and Elise Rayner. And then Chapter 2, 3 years later, a direct sequel that picks up immediately after the first film and then explores Josh Lambert's past. And then another 2 years later, prequel focusing on Elise Rayner, helping a different family before the events of the first 2 films. And then The Last Key, which is another prequel that delves deep into Elise Rayner's childhood and her traumatic first encounter with a demon. And then most recently, The Red Door, a direct sequel to Chapter 2, concluding the Lambert family story a decade later with a college-age Dalton.
Yeah.
So
have you seen the last one?
Yes, I did. It was different. Like,
yeah, it's different, but it is cool that they brought back the original Dalton. But
yeah,
the vibe is all different.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
still jump scares.
Yeah, I think it's cool when you have like a young kid who comes like possessed by whatever it is in this movie. This guy right here. The first 2 did it for me. The third and the fourth kind of veered off in a different direction. Yeah. And I didn't really care for those ones too much. And I kind of waited it out, and I was hoping there'd be a 5th one, but I kind of hope they just put this franchise to rest now, because the first 1 or 2 of every franchise, they're great.
Like the best movies, and they're just trying to like feed off of it.
Yeah, it almost feels like they're kind of reaching out for money after they do 1 and 2, right? Like it's like, okay, guys, like let's let this thing go.
But you gotta, like, Insidious definitely scared the crap out of me when I first saw it. So
yeah, I would have been still 21 in my old age, and you would have probably been a newborn.
Not that young, but
no. You know what I'm saying.
But thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the next one. I'm going to let you run with this because this is
one of my favorite.
Yes.
One of my favorites. I've had these books since I was a child. Actually, my uncle Rob provided me with like 30 of them on one of my birthdays. So thanks, Uncle Rob. That's pretty sweet. I always enjoyed reading them as a child, and I think I still have them sitting around somewhere. But anyways, it's Goosebumps. Like, I'm sure you guys might have seen the old shows on TV, like The Haunted Mask, and like,
oh man,
there's
the dummy,
the mask
right?
too. Yeah,
yeah,
there's the dummy,
dummy.
but like the mask like changes your face and turns you into like a creature
floating around and everything. Oh yeah,
pretty scary stuff.
They were beauties.
That's for a child, anyways.
Yes,
but yeah, so the Goosebumps franchise is a massive collection of children's horror fiction created primarily written by American author R.L. Stine. Now, most of you would know this, but it's known for its mix of spooky and humorous tales with trademark twist endings. And it didn't really start till the 1990s. But, so there's 62 books that were published between 1992 and 1997, which is a lot of writing for 5 years. And each one is its own story. It's totally standalone, totally different in every way. So, congratulations, R.L. Stine. Like, he's had some movies put out too, and I'm pretty sure Jack Black was in one of the more the few of those.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Some of the key monsters and characters in the books are like Slappy the Dummy, like Brian was saying, The Haunted Mask, Monster Blood, Horrorland. Oh, that was a great book.
So good, right?
Yeah, I remember reading that one.
Yeah.
And then, so he did multiple spin-offs and continued on. And,
and I heard there's another one coming out. I don't know if it's next year.
I
Something
think
tells
so.
me it's 2026.
One recently came out. That we saw, but they gotta have a sequel. I enjoyed the older ones myself because it's that nostalgic feeling. New ones are fun too. So.
Yep. Good to see these books come to life, and we kind of relive our childhood on that. So, props to R.L. Stine on that, because that one is a true beauty. Yeah. Now we are going to take another step back into the good old times. And this one is The Nightmare on Elm Street. So, Freddy Krueger, right? Let's go back to that. Let's see. Look at him.
Look at those.
Yeah.
Those claws.
Right. You can't beat that right there.
Yeah. Don't sleep.
Don't fall asleep, right? Or he'll come get you. And that pretty much summarizes what goes on, right? So Freddy Krueger was a serial child killer known as the Springwood Slasher. He was eventually caught, but released on a technicality. The vengeful parents in Springwood, Ohio, took justice into their own hands, cornering him in his boiler room and burning him alive. Now, obviously, he's going to look for revenge, and the way that he does so is through when people sleep, they dream, and their nightmare is involving Freddy Krueger, who can actually kill them in their sleep. So it's a pretty dark movie, and there's a whole bunch of them. What do we got here? First one was in 1984. We got one in 1985, 1987, all the way up to 2010. And I don't know if there's any more on the way.
But it's just crazy, though, because whatever he does in your dream, it affects you in real life.
Yeah.
So you better be fighting your hardest.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you better be having
dream.
some coffees that day or drinking pre-workout to stay awake, because if you fall asleep, your game is over. Yeah. So let's go on to the next one, and I'm going to let you run with this because I have not seen this one at all.
Well, that's Beetlejuice, and that looks like it's from the newest movie, and that just recently came out 2 years ago.
Yes, I believe so.
It's crazy. It's funny. It's like a comedy. Don't say Beetlejuice. What is it? More than it's 3 times or something. He's summoned. You don't want him making a contract with you.
And sorry, Beetlejuice. The second one came out last year.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, last year. Thanks.
Oh, that's all right.
So, but anyways, for the original, released in 1988, it's a cult classic known for its unique visual style, dark humor, and memorable characters. So the plot is about a recently deceased couple, Adam and Barbara Maitland, and Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis play the characters. But anyways, they find themselves trapped, haunting their beloved New England home as ghosts. When the eccentric, art-obsessed Dietz family, Charles, Jeffrey Jones, and his wife, Delia, Catherine O'Hara, and their gothic teenage daughter, Lydia, Winona Ryder, move in and try to renovate the house. The Maitlands try to scare them away, but failing at haunting, they seek help from a chaotic and vulgar bio-exorcist from the netherworld named Beetlejuice, pronounced Beetlejuice, played by Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
The Maitland soon regret summoning the unhinged ghosts, who proved to be more dangerous than the Dietz. The Dietzes.
And I love this because Tim Burton is an excellent movie producer. He did all the Batmans and Edward Scissorhands, which we're going to get into soon as well. But there's always a dark vibe to those movies that I just love, and it's that nostalgic feeling.
Yeah, Tim Burton is one of the best directors of all time. You know it's going to be a good movie when he's directing, and it's because he always has those close-ups or screen changes, or you don't know what to expect. The camera work's always right on par.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you have to say his name 3 times, and bam, he's there. So, anyways, yeah, there's been other adaptations and sequels to the franchise. There's Beetlejuice, which I watched, and that was directed by Tim Burton, and he, it was kind of like a musical, so that puts it into a fun sense of dance and singing. And they had I'd call it soul. They had the train in that movie, and It was
right.
really fun. Like, took you to a whole new world destination. It was an excellent movie.
Yeah.
I highly recommend the new one. I don't actually remember seeing the older one. I don't even know if I ever have, actually, from 1988.
Yeah.
But I will be watching that now.
Yeah,
So,
it's Halloween season, right? We gotta watch
and
these. We got a week left.
I guess we noticed that there's a musical, too, on Broadway. So
Yes.
that'd be something to see.
And that reminds me that Eric is actually going to sing for us tonight.
Am I?
Yes. He's not going to sing for you. I just made that up.
Not right now.
Yes.
Maybe later.
So I'm looking at the comments here, and I see that there's a comment about, I love the Choose Your Own Path Goosebump books, and I did too, because that meant that the book usually ended early for me, so I didn't have to read through the whole thing, which was, yeah, you know, being a kid, right? You didn't want to read too much, but...
Yeah, Goosebumps was amazing.
Yes.
I liked it as a child.
Yeah.
Actually scared me too. I'd read them right before bed. I was only maybe like, what, I don't know, 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And just like laying in bed at night, just like, oh shit. Or pardon me, don't say that. But it was really scared me. So.
Yes, of course.
Anyways, moving on.
Yes, we are going to move on to the next one, and I actually watched this movie today. And once again, this is a Tim Burton movie, and it is with Johnny Depp as Edward Scissorhands. So this is a beauty of a movie here. And this really has that vibe that you get in those early Batman movies, as well as Beetlejuice. It's that dark kind of, I'm trying to think, like Batman Gotham type style, which is really cool. So this movie is already 35 years old, and it actually is a romance movie, but it's still that kind of gothic fairy tale that explores the theme of isolation, conformity, and the pain of being different, obviously, with Edward Scissorhands having scissors for hands. There's not much he can really do. But during the movie, you see him do things that go with his character, like trimming up trees and all that, shaping them out to be like famous people or animals or things like that. He ends up cutting the hair of characters in there, so he ends up using his scissor hands to his advantage. But I know, since I'm a sports guy, that there's no way he's playing volleyball.
Yeah. They pop all the balls.
That's right.
This brings me to like a little shout out for Johnny Depp too, because it reminds me of the Demon Barber on Hell Street. I don't know if you ever watched that.
I didn't.
This is just a small shout out, like a little mini horror movie, but I really liked it because it's like a business deal or whatever clients he doesn't like, he slits their throat and they fall back on the chair, and then they grind them up into meat pies for the customer. So it's pretty gruesome.
Yes.
But I actually really enjoyed that movie. So if you haven't seen that, watch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he does a great job. So.
Yeah, Johnny Depp is one of those characters. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he did an excellent job in that as well. There's a bunch. There's another movie that he features in our list here that we'll cover soon that I don't want to let out just yet, but it's another classic.
Guys, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Don't give up on us, because we'll get there. So let's get to the next movie. And the next one is... Oh yeah, okay. So you might not know this one too well, but I do. This is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. And this is the only Halloween movie in the franchise that actually doesn't feature Michael Myers. This one is kind of different, where the masks, the pumpkin mask that they sell, is kind of linked up to the Silver Shamrock novelty commercial on TV. And what it does when the kids put this Silver Shamrock pumpkin on their head is that it turns their head to like bugs, and it rots them away and all that. I know it's not too gruesome, but it was an interesting idea, and I'm kind of lost at what the actual idea was behind calling this Halloween 3 with no Michael Myers.
Yeah, totally different, right? Yeah.
It's totally different. I do enjoy this movie though, just because it is different, and I also appreciate on YouTube, I have looked up the filming locations of this movie, and it's always cool to see 30 years later some of the filming locations that they've gone through and actually used, and most of them are kind of just overgrown places, closed off, forbidden, like you can't go into them anymore. But it's cool when you put them side by side to be like, this is where they filmed and this is what it looks like now. Pretty cool. So this one, I'm not even sure I know any real actors in it. I don't think I could
I was just reading something here, Brian.
Yeah.
And it mentions like during the climax of the movie, there's a piece of the Stonehenge. Like it's the Stonehenge fragment. And people don't realize, like, how do you think that Stonehenge was actually built? Like those massive rocks. Like people still don't even understand, like, how was that built? And it's like an iconic
aliens.
One of the wonders of the world, right?
There's some aliens involved.
And,
I had no idea.
Pulleys and ropes, but it's still like, it's like those Easter egg heads.
I know,
Easter
right?
Or something. Like,
you wish we needed technology.
Yeah.
If we had some technology with cameras to show how that was actually put together, that would be like pretty wild.
Some writings or something. But something I'd like to see still.
For sure. One of the natural wonders of the world. So we're going to move on to the next one, and this is the actual Johnny Depp movie, another one that we're going to talk about tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And this one is also a legend. I believe it was a movie in 1999, right in with the Halloween theme. And this one is Sleepy Hollow. And this was a supernatural horror film directed once again by Tim Burton. And you can just tell by the picture right there, right? Like
legendary.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's totally the vibe of Tim Burton's movies back in the day. That's totally it right there. It's that dark, kind of mysterious, creepy look to it.
That tree all twisted and gnarly, like where the branch is extending to. It probably turns around and looks at you and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. So that whole tree right there is related to everything that happens in that movie, and I don't want to ruin it if you haven't seen it. Ichabod Crane, which is played by Johnny Depp, he is not as a timid schoolmaster, but as a pragmatic, squeamish, and this is the one thing that really bugs me about his character in this movie. I think he faints or passes out 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, like you shouldn't if you're in a police constable.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of times he passes out, and it's like, oh, come on, not again.
Yeah.
So he's trying to find out how people are getting murdered, and I'm not going to go into detail about how people are murdered in this movie because this is a gruesome one. But he is to find out how it happens, who's responsible, and I'm just trying to see how I can say this without being. It's gruesome.
What happens to the victim?
The victims, let's just say there's a headless horseman, and you can go on from there.
Yeah.
What we're looking for. Yeah. So we're looking to find a living killer, and after witnessing the horseman's murderous ride, he is forced to accept the ghost reality. His investigation shifts to finding who is controlling the horseman, because someone is actually controlling the horse and who he is to go for next. And someone is actually controlling who's doing all that. In the final confrontation of the Tree of the Dead, which is in the picture behind us, Ichabod Crane throws the horseman's missing skull at him. The horseman reclaims his head, which restores the soul's rest and frees him from Lady Van Tassel's control. So, there's who's controlling it. I guess I just ruined it.
Well, it's still a good movie to watch.
Oh, it's great.
If you haven't seen it, check it out.
It's fantastic. Okay, and we are going to move on to this next one, and
this is a big
we're going to go very easy on details of how victims were taken in this movie, because
there's some extreme gore.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you look at this happy little fella
who do you think
in this picture, he is an innocent little clown. Look at that smile.
It's kind of like a mime.
It's a smile that only his parents could love. Look at those eyes and those teeth. He brushed. This is Art the Clown, and this is the Terrifier franchise. There are 3 movies. I believe there's a 4th one coming out very soon. Damien Leone. That's who it is. That's the director of the movie, the writer and director. He does an excellent job with these movies, and this is one of those gory slasher films that I'm not going to go into too much detail about. But the way that Art the Clown comes back, and you can always, it's like Michael Myers, right? You can always take him down.
I need to watch these. I've been too scared to watch.
You haven't seen any of them yet?
Well, I haven't seen. Yeah. I've seen parts of some of them.
Yeah.
Just like the gore scenes, but I need to watch them all the way through.
Yeah.
Like in the basement with all the lights off.
Oh.
Just gotta get through it.
I mean, this is a movie that doesn't have any jump scares. There's nothing like that.
It's like gore.
It's awful.
Yeah.
But it's that classic, and he's trying to keep that old school, like, this is how Halloween movies are supposed to be. So Damien Leone does an excellent job. There are 3 movies in the franchise. Terrifier 1 was released in 2016, Terrifier 2 was released in 2022, and Terrifier 3 was released last year. Terrifier 4 is in development, and I think it's supposed to be out within the year. So now the good news is, after this happy fella is done with his little journey, we are on to a kid's movie we remember from back in the day, and I'm going to let you cover this because
it's excellent.
This is the most innocent movie you could think of.
Yeah, so Casper the Friendly Ghost. I mean, there's a show too, right? And there's all kinds of movies, and I remember watching as a kid. It makes you happy kind of thing. And there's always the 2 bad ghosts, but he's the nice one that helps the kids out or whatever. But anyways, he's a well-known cartoon character who originated in the late 1930s as an idea for a children's book by Seymour Wright and Joe Oriolo.
Yeah.
He is distinguished from other ghosts by his friendly, gentle nature and his perpetual desire to make friends, which is constantly frustrated by humans who are terrified of him and his meaner, prank-loving ghost relatives. So, the first live-action film was released in 1995, and it's mixed live-action with CGI portrayal of Casper. Like, this is right at the beginning of the good CGI, in my opinion, after the 80s.
Yes.
And his 3 ghostly uncles, the Ghostly Trio. So the director of the series is Brad Silberling, and the main cast, like Casper McFadden, was voiced by Malachi Pearson, and he's the human form by Devin Sawa.
Yeah.
And then there's Kate Harvey, played by Christina Ricci,
who was also in Sleepy Hollow as well, Christina Ricci. Yeah.
And she's the lonely teenage girl. And then we have Dr. James Harvey, played by Bill Pullman.
And I think he was in Independence Day. I know he's been in a lot more movies, and I can't even think of any on the spot. I feel like I could research it, but he's played his parts in many movies as well.
And then that's Kat's father and the paranormal therapist. And then we have the dark ghostly trio. The trio voiced by Joe Napote, Joe Alaski, and Brad Garrett. So like they're obviously well known too. But anyways, the plot of the film, it starts off with the haunting. There's an erotic heiress, Kerrigan Crittenden, and he inherits the haunted Whipstaff Manor in Friendship, Maine, but is only interested in a hidden treasure rumored to be inside. So she hires ghost therapist Dr. James Harvey to exorcise the manor of its supernatural residents. And the second piece of this is making friends. So Dr. Harvey moves in with his teenage daughter Kat, who is constantly moving schools due to her father's unusual work. Casper, the lonely young ghost and kind, is immediately drawn to Kat and tries to befriend her, while his disruptive uncles, the ghostly trio, Stretch, Stinky, and Fatso, try to scare them away. I always forgot their names. I was trying to remember. But on the
those are the 3 right there behind us in that picture.
They got Stretch, Stinky, and Fatso.
Yes.
So watch out for them. You never know.
Yeah.
Casper's backstory. Kat helps Casper remember his past life. He recalls that he was a 12-year-old boy named Casper McFadden who died of pneumonia after playing outside too long in the cold. Jeer's disease. I think my grandma's mother died of that. So, anyways, he chose to remain as a ghost to keep his grieving father company. His father, a scientist, spent years building a machine called the Lazarus to bring Casper back to life. Then do
you remember there was like the little red bottle of some kind of potion or something?
Like a potion that you have to drink or something. You're supposed to bring him back.
Yeah, the ghost goes into the machine. They put the red bottle of whatever in, and it turns them back to their human form.
Yeah, so creepy. Man, it's been so long since I watched this stuff.
But I remember that instead of using it on Casper, what's her name? The daughter, Kat. Yeah. She ends up having to use it on her dad because her dad ends up drinking a little bit too much, and he ends up falling off a balcony of some. So he becomes a spirit. So then Kat has to use the whatever you call it, the potion on her dad, and then she doesn't have enough left to use on Casper. So But it's a great movie. I remember
Good twist, yeah.
I remember watching this in elementary school. I've seen it in my French classes, and yes, we had to watch it in French. It was a beauty.
Oh,
we
c'est
remember
bon.
this, right? It's c'est bon, très beautiful.
Très bien.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next one because
Oh, yeah, this will be good.
yeah, let's see if I can even figure out what we're doing here.
So it's by one of the most distinguished
Oh, yeah.
authors.
Yes,
I'll
this
let
is
Brian take this away.
No, I'm gonna. If you want to, you got it. Cause, and after we're gonna, you know what? How about we do
Should
this?
we do a break? Maybe?
We're gonna do a break. Let's get a
Yeah.
break in before
We're gonna take a little break.
Hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're probably gonna take a break here.
Let's
So,
take a break. Man.
Hey, let's take a break.
What do you do when you want to take a break?
We take a break.
Take a break.
Okay, we will be right back.
See you guys.
All right, we are back, and if you are joining us right now on the Border City Kids podcast, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we are going to continue our top Halloween movies of this year. So I'm going to let you, Eric, introduce this movie because it's a classic, right? You can't beat it.
Yeah, as we were talking about before, it's the American author Stephen King. So it was first published in 1986 and is one of the King's most famous and beloved works, exploring themes of childhood trauma, the power of memory, and the enduring strength of friendship. What do you think it is?
Unfortunately,
we see what it is.
Unfortunately, Eric, I got it on the screen.
What is it?
It is it. It is it.
Yeah, so it came out as a novel, in 1986. It alternates between the group's childhood experiences in 1957, 1958, and the return to their hometown as adults in 1984 to 1985. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone watching this right now has seen the new movie, It.
Yes.
Pennywise the clown and like how freaky he is.
Yes, but if you haven't, we highly suggest you watch the classic one.
Yeah.
And what's his name? I can't think of the actor's name here. He is in Home Alone as the hotel. What is he? The guy that works at the desk at the hotel, the Plaza Hotel. He is an excellent actor. I know he's had some health struggles as of late, but he did an absolute excellent job portraying Pennywise the clown in this movie. No, I don't think anyone else could replicate what he did in this movie.
It's Bill Skarsgård, right?
Bill Skarsgård? Yeah, no, that's
like Pennywise the clown.
Guy. Who's the original?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård is the most recent actor who portrayed Pennywise the Clown in the recent 2 movies. But
Oh, was it Tim Curry?
Tim Curry,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Yes, Tim Curry, and he did an excellent job.
Nice.
Unfortunately, he has been battling some health problems or issues recently, which is really sad to see because he's such a talented individual and he did such an excellent job
We should
in this movie.
Yeah, we should probably talk a little bit about the setting because some people may not have watched it, but I'm sure the majority has. But anyway, so it's set in Derry, Maine, and so like a fictional small town with a long, dark history of unexplained violence and tragedies, all connected to the entity known as It. And it's an ancient, trans-dimensional evil. It's not even really like it's a clown, but it's like a spiritual being.
Yep.
And it crash landed on Earth long ago, so it's like an alien too. It emerges from hibernation roughly every 27 years to feed on the fear and flesh of Derry's children before going back to sleep. That scene gave me nightmares where it's about to feed on you and you see its mouth open like 180 degrees and all that.
It's almost like the movie The Mummy when you see him opening with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, classic. Brendan Fraser.
He just opens his mouth and like,
now, but yeah, he's good. Yeah,
he's back. He'll be back.
Yeah, he should be back.
Now I don't know.
Liked him. I actually like him a lot.
I don't know if you know the scene I'm thinking of right now, but it's the sewer scene.
Oh yeah.
Where the like paper boat goes down.
That's the most classic scene in the movie.
Yeah,
right?
Goes down the sewer and Pennywise pops up and says, "Hiya, Georgie."
Hi, Georgie.
Hiya, Georgie. Such a good job in this scene. And even like when they redo it in the newest movie as well with Bill Skarsgård, right? That was still pretty well done. But the classic for me always takes the win. It takes the gold in this. He did such an excellent job in this movie. It's a long one. I believe it's over 3 hours long, but it's well worth the watch, especially once again during Halloween season.
Yeah, the OG is really good. So. Yeah. Well, as we continue on, our next top 10 Halloween movie is Protagonists. Oh, never mind. I was a little off here.
This one's a classic if you're into like super goofy comedies. Ernest P. Worrell features in all of these movies here. That's his character, Ernest P. Worrell. I'm blanking out on his name right now, and I feel ashamed that I'm saying that. Can you search?
Jim Varney?
Jim Varney. Yeah. And Jim Varney did Slinky and Toy Story. And it was just, these movies were all classic.
You gotta love Slinky.
Oh, Slinky, yeah.
Come on, boss.
Unfortunately,
so nice. What a beautiful voice.
Jim Varney was a very big smoker, and I believe he had lung cancer, and he passed away in 2000.
Yeah, Buzz.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he did such a good job. He was in all these goofy movies. There's one about basketball. There's one where he goes to Africa, but he always makes. It's almost like a Mr. Bean type movie where he always gets himself into trouble and has to find a way to get himself out. But this is Jim Varney in Ernest Scared Stupid, and he has to rescue kids that have been almost transformed into like these small toys, and he has to like go after these really weird like monster type things, and it's a classic. Once again, if you enjoy the classic older movies, this guy Jim Varney was excellent in these movies, and they're all Ernest P. Worrell movies. There's a Christmas one as well. But they're all goofy, and if you enjoy them, then I suggest that you watch them. So I'm going to let you go into the next one.
Sure. Oh, we're checking out The Lost Boy. So this one, it's an older film, kind of. It's 1987 American horror comedy film, and it helped redefine the modern vampire movie by blending youth culture, rock and roll, and horror. Yeah. So... in 1987, director Joel Schumacher. Yeah. And it stars Jason Patrick, Corey Haim, Kiefer Sutherland, Jamie Gertz, Corey Feldman, Diane Wiest, and Edward Herman. And it's set in the fictional seaside town of Santa Carla, California, which aren't the greatest because LA beat the Jays, and we're not too happy about that. So we'll continue on, which is secretly the murder capital of the world.
Yes.
Of course, it's California.
Wow, you really tied that in well.
So, anyways, it follows the Emerson family as they move to Santa Carla after the mother, Lucy, gets divorced.
Yes.
And so Lucy Emerson, along with her two sons, Michael and Sam, move into her eccentric taxidermist father, the grandpa, in like his place in Santa Carla. So Michael, the older brother, is moody and quickly bored in the sleepy town. So, and first of all, Sam, the younger brother, he's like a comic book enthusiast, so he's always reading or whatever, hanging out, chill. But Michael's transformation begins while exploring the boardwalk. So,
and before you go any further, this boardwalk is iconic for me and you because in Jordan Peele's movie Us, the same exact boardwalk is featured in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the exact same spot. Filming locations are done on the exact, and there's a little I don't know what you want to call it. It's like a piece of history. It's like a sign almost that says like the history of that boardwalk in the movies that were done. So The Lost Boys and Us were filmed on it. And it's really cool to see the overlap of some of the places that were used during these two movies on that boardwalk. Or I'll let you continue.
No, that's cool. Yeah. But yeah, so while exploring that boardwalk, he is immediately drawn, like Michael's drawn to Star, and she's a mysterious girl who is part of a motorcycle gang, and everyone loves motorcycles, so that's pretty cool.
Yes.
And but led by, like, the gang's led by David, and that's so during an initiation ritual under a collapsing train trestle, Michael is tricked into drinking what he believes is wine, but it's actually David's blood. He doesn't immediately turn to a full vampire, but becomes a half vampire, or a fledgling, which manifests as a strange nocturnal behavior and sensitivity to light. So vampires, like, they've always like freaked me out too, and like imagine just starting to become one, and like, so do your like canine teeth, do they fall out and do you grow new ones, or like how does that work?
Don't know. I believe by the end of the movie, yes, but I'd say throughout the movie he didn't, but he was trying to become a vampire, which is it's that classic vampire type movie. Yeah, for sure.
So there are other characters, Sam and the Frog brothers. So Sam meets Edgar and Alan Frog.
And Corey Feldman, I believe.
Is Edgar.
And Corey Feldman, I believe, passed away years ago, which is sad, but I'll let you continue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, so they're at a local comic book shop, and these Frog brothers are self-proclaimed, like, heavily armed teenage vampire hunters who quickly inform Sam that Santa Carla is infested with the undead. So then Sam realizes the truth about his brother after testing him with garlic and a mirror. No, I can't see vampire in a mirror. Vampires hate garlic, unless you're like a chef vampire. But anyways, together with the Frog brothers, they must find and kill the head vampire to break Michael's curse and save him before he makes his first kill and fully transforms.
Yep.
So it moves on the story to the hunt for the head vampire, as do like most vampire movies. You kill the head, like all the other vampires are supposed to die, or they all kind of lose their way.
Yeah.
The boys correctly deduce that the head vampire must be one of the older non-teenagers in town, so their prime suspect becomes Max, and Lucy's kind but somewhat geeky boss from the video rental store, whom she has begun to date. So the group attempts to vamp out Max at a dinner party using a series of clever tests, but he passes them all, so they can't actually determine that he is the vampire head. So the climax of the movie ends with when the family returns home for a big showdown. The Lost Boys gang arrive to attack, leading to a violent, gory, and action-packed battle in Grandpa's house. The boys successfully eliminate David and the rest of the gang. But there's a crazy, shocking twist that is revealed, and Max is, in fact, the head vampire. It wasn't David. So the reason he passed their test is that he wasn't invited into the house, but simply came for dinner after Lucy invited him. He had been looking for a mother for his lost boys and intended to turn Lucy and the children to complete his perverse new family unit. And before Max can finish the transformation, Grandpa appears and impales Max with a wooden spike driven from the rafters of the house, destroying the main coven and freeing Michael from the curse.
And that's how she goes right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a classic movie. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest that you do.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it once or twice. I've seen the filming locations for it because the boardwalk's really cool. There's also a scene at the bridge where the kids are like, the vampires are all hanging from the bridge and they have to let go. And the main character, what was his name here? What's his name? Anyways, it's I don't know if it's Corey Haim's character. Sorry, Corey Haim is the one that passed away, not Corey Feldman. I was wrong about that, Corey Haim. But anyways, they test out the main character in the movie by telling him to let go of the bridge, and he falls, and if he survives, then he's one of them. It's really cool.
Yeah, a good test.
Yeah. So, let's move on to the next movie. And this one is another... Yes. Do you want to go through it, or do you want me to?
Well, I feel like you can handle it.
All right, I might handle this one here. This one here is a 1984 classic. Everyone knows what this one is. It features Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and who else we got here? Harold Ramis, who tragically passed away probably 10 years ago, I want to say. Ernie Hudson. So these are the four main Ghostbusters in the 1984 movie.
Original Ghostbusters.
Yes. And also featured Sigourney Weaver. Rick Moranis, who took quite a hiatus from acting because I believe his wife passed away. So he stepped away from acting, but he was in the movie Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves and Honey, We Shrunk the Kids. Classic movies.
Great movies, yeah.
But he was also in Ghostbusters, and he was pretty funny in that too. In this movie here, there are four Ghostbusters. Dr. Peter Venkman, Ray Stantz, Egon Spengler, and their eccentric parapsychologists at Columbia University until a close encounter with a ghost in the library. And this scene's actually really funny because they were creeping up on the ghost in the library, and the ghost is like, shh. And then they're like, get her. And then she's like, ah. And it's like, oh, it's hilarious just to see a ghost go, shh. And then their rise to fame is that they have this business going where people are calling up the Ghostbusters to take care of ghosts. And they have like this, honestly, it looks like someone carrying like a vacuum, like a big backpack on it. And they got the hose, and then they got to join up like the light show. And yeah, it's pretty funny. It's a good movie. There are two installations of Ghostbusters. I'm only going to talk about the classic ones. I'm not going to go into any of the new ones because for me it kind of ruins it.
Yeah. Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters probably in this case.
Right. Yes. We all know who it is. Yeah.
So there is a Gozerian threat. Dana Barrett seeks Peter Venkman's help after she is tormented by a voice from her refrigerator, and this is like when the eggs start cracking and cooking on the counter, and she doesn't know what's going on, but the only help she can get is from Peter Venkman at the Ghostbusters. She becomes possessed by the demigod Zool, who's the gatekeeper, and her neighbor Louis Tully is possessed by Vince Clortho, the Keymaster. So that's what's his name here? Rick Moranis' character in the movie. By the end of the movie, the four Ghostbusters race to the roof of Dana's building to stop Zool and Vince Clortho from opening the dimensional gate. And this is when the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Just saw him today, too.
Yes, we saw him.
A great blow up.
Yes, during our Halloween walk, we saw the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Not as big as the one from the movie.
Yeah, where he crushes like gardens and stuff.
But it did the job. And this movie's classic here. So they defeat Gozer and the monster by crossing their that's what they're called, the proton stream. So they join up like they're like guns or whatever, and they all aim it at
it disperses the
and it just
power,
blows it up.
I don't know, yeah.
And there's a second installation of this, which is like I think it's not. I don't think it is. It's like an art piece in an art museum of a guy that looks really evil, but it's actually possessed, and it's somehow underneath the ground in the whole like sewer system of New York. There's like this pink goo stuff that takes over, and it only grows by the negativity in the town. but that's a whole nother story. But the first Ghostbusters is a classic, and you can't beat it.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go into the next beautiful movie. I think we're actually getting closer to the end of this thing.
Here's a big one.
Who is that?
Well, I'm pretty sure we all know.
Yeah. It's Scooby-Doo. Okay, and that's Matthew Lillard there. He played Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movie.
Too, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's in Without a Paddle. He was in the Scream movies, and I hear he's also featuring in the new Scream movie that's coming out this year or next year. I can't remember. This movie also features Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Linda Cardellini, who played Velma, Neil Fanning, Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, who is Emil, who is the owner of Spooky Island.
Oh my god, I haven't watched this movie in so long. I gotta rewatch it again. I remember like Scrappy-Doo in the next one, but yeah.
Yeah, Scrappy-Doo's actually like the bad guy at the end of the movie. He's in like a clone of Mr. Bean. Yeah. But they open him up and it's like little Scrappy-Doo controlling him.
Let me at him.
Yeah. He's like, let me at him. It's like, come on, you're just a little dog here.
It's like one of the best. Actually, this is a great movie. It's just like great for the family.
Yeah.
Great for everyone.
It absolutely, yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yeah.
Also, there's like a really good scene where they all like have their spirits change bodies when they have the voodoo
ghost.
And then like Fred becomes Daphne. He's like
Daphne and Velma, and
Velma switches for Shaggy or whatever. And they keep switching around till they get it right. But then like Fred's like, I think I'm gonna look at myself naked.
Yeah.
Not very appropriate.
No, not appropriate. So no,
but
we don't
funny.
encourage that. No.
Great funny show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done. So that is Scooby-Doo. We highly encourage you to watch it. Going into the next one, and this is another classic that's been going around for quite a while. This is Friday the 13th. This one here is a long-running, influential American horror movie franchise, primarily known for it's a slasher movie, okay? And it introduces the iconic villain, Jason. Here is an overview. So the setting, the main location is at Camp Crystal Lake, a summer camp with a deadly history in New Jersey, often nicknamed Camp Blood. The original killer, Pamela Voorhees, in the first movie, Friday the 13th, which was 45 years ago, 1980, the killer is actually Mrs. Pamela Voorhees, Jason's distraught mother. She stalks and murders the new camp counselors to prevent the camp from ever reopening again, acting out of revenge for her son's death. In part 2, onward, Jason then becomes the killer, and he survived and been living as a hermit. He begins his rampage to avenge his mother's death. So that's when Jason, if we go into this, that's Jason there, and it's just a whole franchise of Jason going after the victim. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but
there's a little bit extra too, though, right? Like Jason, so he drowned in Camp Crystal Lake, so he's like afraid of water. Like he always fear the water.
I don't think he can swim. Yeah.
He can't swim, so he drowned, and then later on they come up with like Freddy versus Jason, right? And like Freddy burned alive, so he's
Freddy
afraid of fire.
And Jason.
Freddy Krueger, and they have like it's another like Mike Myers Halloween kind of event where they fight each other and they just don't die. Like it just continues. So if you want a good fight, like you can watch Freddy versus Jason.
Agreed. Yeah. Definitely one of those classic slasher films.
Yeah.
All right, going into the last one on our list before we do some honorable mentions is the Addams Family, and I'm going to let you run with this one.
Well, everyone's probably checked out Wednesday on Netflix recently.
I have not.
This is not the original Addams Family where you have all the characters and you actually get to see them all, and you got Thing, Cousin It. I don't even think you see Cousin It in the Wednesday Netflix special. No, not yet.
I wouldn't know.
Not that I've seen. But anyways, so the Addams Family, like the theme song everyone knows.
I've never heard of it before.
But
Just kidding, I have.
So the Addams Family is a fictional, wealthy, eccentric family created by American cartoonist Charles Addams. So he put his name into there. They are all known for their love of the macabre and their amusing obliviousness to the fact that others find their interests and lifestyle bizarre.
Yes.
They are the most bizarre family you will ever encounter. I will tell you that.
They sound pretty bizarre.
Yeah. And for the people who do not know the characters, I'm going to read through them all just so that you understand who they are and what their names are. So, Gomez Addams, he's the father, passionate, wealthy patriarch, prone to fencing, crashing model trains, and obsessively loving his wife, who is very lovable. And that's Morticia Addams, the elegant Gothic matriarch. Calm, witty, and tends to a carnivorous plant named Cleopatra. You have Wednesday Addams.
And this is what the new
Netflix.
And once again,
show.
this Christina Ricci, she was in Sleepy Hollow and she was in Casper, so she's into these types of movies at the time.
She loves them.
Yeah,
probably works with Tim Burton all the time.
For sure. Yep.
So the dark and deadpan daughter who enjoys torture, gloom, and possesses a subtle, sinister demeanor. You would not want to mess with Wednesday Addams if he existed.
Yeah.
You got Pugsley Addams, her younger brother, the cheerful son, who is often Wednesday's puppet, I would say. He's like her subject for experiments and games. Then you have Uncle Fester, Gomez's exuberant, completely bald brother who can conduct electricity into lights and pain and destruction. He's like the creepy, crazy guy.
Yeah.
You got Grandma from the original one. She's like a witch, kind of foolish grandmother. Yeah. Casting spells or telling fortunes, probably losing her marbles, can't find her glasses. Oh yeah, and Lurch, he's the like Frankenstein butler kind of thing. He's the towering monolithic butler who speaks in deep moans and serves the family. I don't think he says a single word.
Yeah, he just makes noises. Yeah.
And you got Thing, a disembodied sentient hand that kind of acts as a pet helper to the family. I don't know exactly how he would function, but he does. And
it's true, yeah. It's just a hand. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
I guess it'd be like a chicken without a head.
Right.
But anyway, so we got Cousin It too. This is the last character. Completely covered from head to toe in long flowing hair. I think one of the episodes they try and look for a face or they move the hair around, but I don't know what happens. Maybe they get bit. Speaks in unintelligible high-speed gibberish. It just kind of moves around quickly.
Yep.
So, the original cartoons are dated way back in 1938. So, it's been around for a long time. And, like, that's older than most people I know today.
Most people you know.
Yeah. First appeared in the New Yorker magazine. The characters were unnamed in the beginning, so just really old cartoons. Yeah. And then they didn't start the Addams Family TV series until 1964, which was the classic black and white sitcom that gave their characters their names and catchphrases and the famous theme song. And then moving on to their first film, 1991, it's the successful revival that captured the family's macabre charm.
And I assume that's the one we just talked about. That's the film from 1991.
Yeah,
classic.
The original one.
Yeah.
And it's leading to the equally popular sequel. So they have one called The Addams Family Values, and that's the next film, 2 years, 1993. It was released. Widely considered the best of the film series, focusing on a black comedy plot involving a new killer nanny. And then
we're jumping 26 years to 2019 when technology gets involved. Yeah. And we have a CGI animated film, The Addams Family, rebooted for a new generation of kids that are into it, which leads up to the 2022 edition of Wednesday, which is a live action series focused on an older Wednesday Addams attending Nevermore Academy. So it's only taken like that. I haven't seen it, so I assume that's just on her,
season,
right?
I started watching the second season. I haven't finished it yet. But
okay.
Like I enjoyed the first season. Second season's a bit slow, I think, at first.
Yeah.
Like it picks up.
It takes off after a while.
I don't know. I'll finish it eventually.
Awesome.
But, yeah. Pretty cool.
Well, we have reached the end of our. I believe we reached the end. Yeah, we did. We reached the end of our list. We did want to go through some honorable mentions, and the one I'm currently thinking about. Actually, there's a bunch we could go through. Yeah. Scream.
We'll just name them off our head.
Yeah,
maybe.
Scream is
no script.
Right, Ghostface. So how many movies have there been? Six or seven. Let's not worry about those two numbers, 6 or 7. But I think there's been that many movies. And I know Matthew Lillard is supposed to, who is in like the original, is supposed to be in the one that comes out next, which is really cool. And that's, again, the ghost face mask, and then they hunt down their victims, and they have to find the killer. And usually the killer dies at the end, but then there's always someone who picks up from there.
Yeah, it continues on the story.
That's my first honorable mention. What do you have?
Remember Psycho?
Psycho, that was on the list. Yeah, I should have covered that. Yeah.
It was good. That's one of the original horror movies.
Yes.
So and then we got some other good ones too. Like,
well, Psycho's really good in the way that there was like one from, I want to say from like the 50s or 60s, and then Vince Vaughn was actually in the remake that was done in the 90s, and it's kind of interesting to see him because he was so funny in the 2000s and 2010s with most of his movies, but he was really creepy. Yeah, really creepy.
I think he just aged.
Yeah, I know he's like,
I don't know.
yeah, I know I think he's like 55 or 56 now, but just because he was so funny in his movies. But before he actually went big into the movie scene, he was this creepy character at the hotel and had his mom, who was technically already dead, but he kind of kept her alive in the house. And it's kind of like some of those creepy documentaries you see on Netflix right now with
like
murderers. Ed Gein taking the victims and kind of keeping them alive. And I don't want to go too much into detail on that, but that's a very good one. Psycho's.
I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's a good pick. I am gonna go to, let's see. Oh, Sinister.
Yeah, Sinister. There's two movies, I think.
Yeah, Sinister. For me personally, I'm gonna go with Ethan Hawke on the first one. That one right there, with the kids being taken into Bagul.
Yeah, Bagul's the evil
Bagul's the bad
entity,
guy. Yeah, that's like takes the kids, and the kids end up killing the families of each of all the victims, and they're all connected. And as soon as one person moves into that house, then they become the victim, and it's like a whole chain that kind of works its way around the whole movie. So there are two, but for me personally, I like the original one, which was, I want to say it was in 2012. It was. Yeah,
2012.
By Ethan Hawke, and I think he did such a good job. I was really saddened to see the way that movie ends by him dying, but he does such a good job, and he's a really good actor, so I'm a fan of him. So that's my honorable mention.
Yeah, and you see like that creepy face showing up in the photographs when they're taking them in the background, and it kind of spooks up. I love that unknowing, I don't know, horror movie.
It was
like
a really
the appeal of it. Yeah,
it was a unique idea when they first came out with that movie.
Yeah,
so
it definitely caught my attention in the commercials.
Definitely. Do we have any other honorable mentions?
I guess Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
we didn't really talk about that. Like, it's more gore and a lot of creepiness.
It's gore, and that ties it to Ed Gein again with
wearing.
And it's keeping the other victims, and it's really, really gruesome stuff that some of these people were into, and it's tough to talk about it, and I don't want to talk about it, but just for the theme of this episode today, we will. I'm trying to think of any other movies that were honorable mentions when it comes to horror movies. Like, we could talk about the movie Get Out.
Oh yeah,
Get
Out
was a creepy
great
one with the director Jordan Peele.
It was such a twist at the end.
Yeah.
You didn't know what to expect and like what was going on. Like, if you haven't watched it, you should.
And there is a race element to that movie, but it has to do with like their brains being taken out and implanted into someone else, and then they get to live longer, but they still are. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, and that ties into the movie like Us by Jordan Peele. Like, both of those movies were really creepy but weird, but still really well done. Any others?
I mean, we recently watched a movie. I think it was on Netflix or something, but it was The Monkey, and it was like, remember watching that like not that long ago? And it's just a weird.
It was a beauty
movie where there's like these freak accidents.
Yeah.
And this creepy dummy monkey belonged to some father, I guess, of the child.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know if he died or he left the child, but it finds it and there's a key for the monkey, turns it, and then once the monkey starts playing, someone around these people that they know like dies a very spontaneous death.
Yeah,
and like it's
super random.
Like the chance of it happening is like 1 in a million.
Oh,
So
terrible.
Not really possible.
You
But
can almost laugh at all of it.
There's one scene that we had to watch like 3 times just to see the graphics where.
Oh yeah,
there's
was it
the
pool?
electrical. Yeah, the pool.
It was so
Like,
weird.
Not that I don't think this would happen, but
Yeah.
a couple wire, there's live voltage going to the pool.
If you want a good
Swimmer
laugh,
jumps in and poof.
yeah.
I don't know what happens to her, but yeah.
Yes.
Let's just say it's raining blood. Yeah.
The next movie, and I just saw it in my list here. Where'd it go? This movie is called Lights Out, and I don't know if you've actually seen that one, but when the lights are out, you can see like a shadow of someone who's coming to like get you. But when you turn the lights on, they're not there. But then when you turn the lights off again, they're like really close up to you, and it's really creepy. So that would be another one for me that was super creepy.
Oh man, you know what we missed? The Shining.
The Shining. Yeah. Jack Nicholson did an excellent job. That one, I mean,
It's different.
it's very different.
Yeah.
What year was that one?
1980. Yeah. I remember having to
1980.
watch it in one of my films classes.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah. So he's like the hotel like innkeeper guy who takes care of the whole place during winter season because where does it take place again? What's the setting? I know is it Colorado?
It might be.
I just know it's in a spot where they get tons and tons of snow, so he's there to watch the hotel.
It's during the winter time, yeah.
But he starts to go crazy, and he's with his family, and yeah, it kind of goes on from there. So that's a good one right there. The Possession is another good movie with the girl who like gets this weird box at a garage sale, and the box starts to control her, and she becomes possessed. And by the end of it, it's a pretty wild like exorcism scene that takes place, but it's really cool. So that's another movie I would suggest to watch. Ooh, man, I missed a good one. Pet Sematary.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Like I recently.
Oh. That's a good one.
Yeah, we probably should have had that on the main list too.
Yeah.
Guess what happens? You bury your pet and he's not gone. There was a recent movie.
Or the kid, right? The kid gets hit by the semi truck. But it's the neighbor who's the creepy old guy in that. And I believe he played Frankenstein back in the old
the
days.
original one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the new one was released in 2019.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that.
I believe Pet Sematary was released in 1989 because that's my birth year. Am I right?
I'll double check. 1983.
1989.
1983, I think. Oh no, it's the novel. Sorry, it was
the novel
released.
was written by
1989.
Stephen
The movie.
King.
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah.
That is a good movie. Super creepy. For me personally, I wouldn't watch the new one. I think it totally wrecks it. And Judd is the old guy. That's creepy. That you cannot beat in the 1989 classic Pet Sematary. I can't believe I missed that one. And it's funny because the monkey shows up on the list.
Does it?
Yeah, it's right there.
That was a great movie. It was funny.
Oh, I was weird. The Amityville Horror is another one that was pretty well done. And that had, what's his name? 2005 it was released. He was more of a comedian than anything. But that has to deal with a story about Ronald DeFeo Jr. who murdered his family in his home. And then a family moves into it and all these crazy things happen in the house. And then Ed and Lorraine Warren are actually called in to help with that. Ryan Reynolds is in the 2005 movie and he does a very good job. Very scary, very intense because he becomes possessed at the house and they need to get him out to become normal again. So that's another good movie. I missed a bunch. I'm the one that's responsible for this.
It's okay. There's just so many good movies. For me, the most scary movie I ever watched as a child would probably be Dead Silence.
That's the dummy, right?
Because those ventriloquist dummies, they just get you.
Yeah. Those dummies get you.
You're sleeping at night, and then the eyes like move and look at you.
Yeah.
I've definitely had terrifying nightmares where like eyes are looking at you and you don't know from where.
Is that where like a person like dies but kind of takes like their soul or whatever goes into the dummy?
Goes into the dummy.
Yeah.
But then it's not just like a soul or a dummy itself. There's actually like a monster in the end. And it's like creepy as hell.
So they need to get rid of the dummy.
Yeah.
2 more movies. Arachnophobia is a big movie with Jeff Daniels where they move into a house in, I can't remember the city. What's it called? But anyways, this type of, I think it's a tarantula, kind of hitches a ride over because a guy who goes overseas to research, I don't know if it's in Africa, he gets killed by a spider. Sorry, he dies from a spider bite, and then the spider goes into his casket, which is shipped over to, is it Manaima? What's the city called? City in Arachno. I want to say.
I haven't seen that.
I'd like to.
I
don't know
watch
if I'm
it. It's
making
from
that up.
1990, yeah.
But I feel like Manaima or what's can
South
you search?
American Killer Spider, California Town.
Yeah, what's the California town though? That's what
I'm gonna find it.
I don't know if it'll say it. Let me see if I can search this one up. City in movie. Let's see if we can get this, because this is a good one. Kanaima, yeah, it is Kanaima. Yeah. So he hitches a ride over, and Jeff Daniels, who's like
Great actor.
He moves to this small little town, and he wants to become the main doctor, and the other main doctor of the town ends up dying from the spider, but he finds out that his residence is like the center point for all the killings by the spiders around, and then by the end of the movie there's tons and tons of spiders, and he has to kill like the queen and everything, and it's just intense. Really well put together movie. Hopefully it doesn't get remade, because that would ruin it.
Want to hear a really scary story about spiders?
Yes.
So, back when I was living in London, I was renting this basement apartment.
Yeah.
And the guy's probably passed away now, but I think I was only paying like $500 a night. It was great, but I had to come back and work on the Monday morning. I went home for the weekend, came back Sunday evening, and I'm so thankful that I peeled away my pillow on my tiny little single bed. It was musty and dark, and there's like house centipedes and stuff. Anyways, there's this big ball of web and probably 100 little baby white spiders running in the web under my pillow. I had to peel it back. But right then and there, I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? I gotta leave. I gotta run. So, but I forcefully picked up the pillow, brought it to the sink, and I just remember flushing it down the sink. I don't know why I didn't bring it to the toilet or just throw it out the window. It's terrible. I had to get rid of that. I'm like, oh, I don't think I can sleep here. But like, imagine if I fell asleep that night. There's like thousands of spiders crawling. I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
They go in your nose. They go in your mouth.
So there's like one big spider and like a million little white spiders everywhere. It just freaked me out ever since. So now I always check under your pillow before you go to bed every night.
Yes, and
it's
that
creepy times.
That's the lesson of tonight's episode, is to check underneath your pillow before you go to bed, because you never know.
Something could be lurking in the dark.
That's right, and we're really setting the scene for that on this episode.
Yeah, but
so I'm trying to think, is there anything we haven't covered? I want to say that might be about it. If you have a suggestion or a movie you want to mention in the chat, please go ahead and do so. But I guess for me, maybe I would throw The Nun.
Oh,
Nun
yeah,
1 and 2.
Like part of the Conjuring.
Yeah, but that's part of the Conjuring
franchise or
world,
whatever.
right? Yeah. So, and then I would throw Annabelle in there too, because that's all part of that. So those are all the top movies I would come up with. If there are any that we've missed or you think we've missed, please suggest it or mention it.
Comment,
yeah, comment please if you're there.
Let us know.
But I've gone through a bunch. 13 Ghosts is another one.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
That has Matthew Lillard in it, and that has to deal with like a house where there's all these spirits trapped, and it needs one more, so they want to go. I'm not going to ruin that one, because that one's actually really good. I like that too.
Cool.
But there's Paranormal Activity. Drag Me to Hell is a good one. Room 1408. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's another good one that has Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Yeah, I love him.
And what's the other guy?
Django Unchained.
Yeah. Michael Enslin's like the character in it, but the actor's name is John Cusack, so that's another good movie.
Nice.
But I think that is just about everything. And we want to thank you for joining us, or if you watch us in the future, we want to thank you for joining us on the Border City Kids podcast tonight. This was a really long one.
Yeah.
It's 1
o'clock.
live.
This is my first time going live on Border City Kids, and this is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And most of the time,
got a really good setup. Yeah.
Most of the time when I do this, it's only about 30-40 minutes long, and it's about a natural disaster of some sort, a hurricane or tornado or something like that. But thank you for being here, Eric, tonight. It's been great.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always open to any guest that wants to be on here. If you want to join, by all means, you're more than welcome to do so. So we want to thank you for joining us tonight. Like I said earlier, if you are into natural disasters, tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis, whatever, or have suggestions, please comment them and I will cover them in future episodes. I usually go live once or twice a week, Friday new episodes, and I put out a few YouTube shorts throughout the week. But we will do this again. We'll see how this does with this topic, because I don't think I've covered this topic in a few months now. But for Halloween, I wanted to do so. So, yeah, that's about it for me. Did you want to say any last things to the audience?
Well, I don't know. I hope I did well. I had a good time. It was fun, like, talking about these Halloween movies.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just want to wish you guys a happy Halloween and get spooky, get scared, have fun, say hi to your neighbors. I don't know.
Say hi to your neighbors, that's right. Yeah, happy Halloween to everyone out there. We will go live this coming Thursday night about the episode that's coming out Friday night. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends and family, because we appreciate that the most. We do this for you guys, and thanks for joining us. So I think that is it. Everyone else have a good night, happy Halloween, and we'll see you later.